All right, everyone. This is the last game of the round of 8, which is the quarterfinals, and it will be once again the last time starting map on Duckthorn by Ultimate Ducky. This time it is going to be between the red team on the left, the Resistance, FriskyCow in an Alpha Striker, and GOO GOO in the Beta Bomber.
Beta Bomber looking beautiful with that bald eagle head, I tell you what. And on the right side we have the Rusty Council featuring Stuart98 and ShadowUltima.
And both
everyone in this
match
is an old man who's been around for way too long.
Oh, actually, Stuart's in a Black Ops. So, going pretty standard. Game has started. Okay, red team choosing to split up, blue team choosing to focus. So let's see which of these strategies, results in faster outpost grabs.
That's right, and of course, I think we are going to see a little bit more raw DPS from the start because of that bomber.
Right, exactly, with that Mantis Strike. And ShadowUltima, flying over for some harass, and GOO doing the same thing. Bear traps seem to be the popular, cool new thing of the day.
Oh my goodness, and Frisky saves that Longhorn with just one health left on it.
But Shadow might be able to get one finished off. No, spending a lot of energy dashing around. I don't know if that's really worth it, but it did delay.
A lot of time as he is now forced to retreat with nothing to show for it.
Yeah, going really slow. But it did delay the red team slightly.
Bear traps are really holding up that top capture as only 2 creeps make it through.
So it is still one outpost apiece at this point. The harass game is very strong on both sides. GOO trying to stay alive from the harass by Stuart, but Stuart in the presence of one of the best dogfighters in the game. Frisky not able to finish him off because ShadowUltima did come to support. Great teamwork.
And that was certainly a timely intervention, as it does keep them both operational to make that forward push into mid keep running smoothly once they can finally scrounge together some creeps that haven't been bear trapped.
And GOO now starting with the Mantis Strike, not a big surprise. FriskyCow putting a heavy mine that will be completely invisible to the blue team. I'm pretty sure they are not going to be able to see that. I'm very excited to see what that's going to do. And light mines go all the way down on the bottom of the mid area by GOO.
And a friendly reminder for anyone out there, the way that you deal with these invisible units, drop a healing unit in their vicinity. It will start to deactivate them, and you'll take care of it.
But the biggest problem with that is you have to assume there's a mine there because you can't see them. There's no way to detect them as of now. No counter units, no nothing.
And if you've been honeypotted, then you know.
Stuart going down.
One ratchet also goes down in that push as it was just poorly positioned, and that leaves one healing unit in that entire blue cluster and as GOO GOO does live.
GOO GOO gets away.
Oh my goodness.
43 to 32. The higher seed is ahead as expected, moving to the backside of their middle outpost, while Stuart98 does neutralize that top outpost but pays the price.
And the bomber is the one taking a kill there. Not your typical dogfighter, but certainly getting the job done as Shadow does struggle to neutralize that top outpost. It's not going to happen.
You know, if anyone overextends enough, even an Angel can get that kill, you know what I mean?
Very true. Or a Paladin, for that matter.
Angel, nudge, nudge, Stuart. Anyway. Trying to neutralize whatever he can, dropping a couple jumpers, ShadowUltima. This might get neutralized, but it's probably another just waste of credits and time, as they don't have really anything to support. No supplementary push. There's no real hope to hold it.
And it's more than a waste of credits and time, it's also a waste of their unit health, as those heavy mines are given some free time to activate, and the single healing unit in that cluster is starting to really get overstretched as artillery and Buckies fire in.
Okay, I'm a little confused because the red team saw that outpost getting neutralized and kind of abandoned it. The blue team came back with more infantry and took it under their control. I don't know why they just completely ignored that. That was... yeah. But the red team is still slightly ahead.
Holding on to that mid, we will see how they respond. Once again, we see Mantis Strike doing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, remember, the red team has a bomber, so that is a thing.
Okay. The bomber mid is back.
Use Mantis Strike, kill things. That is the sequence. But the red team is pushing out. They are probably going to do an outpost capture. Oh, Zippers dropped by Frisky, distracting ShadowUltima. The blue team does not see this push at the bottom, and Stuart and GOO are occupied themselves. So, it does look like Frisky might be able to take this bottom right out. Oh, no, he stopped. He did a hold position. Why? Why did he do a hold position?
Again. It was a very brief hold.
Man, that's really weird. There was nothing defending.
Shadow does spot it out.
I'm really confused as to why he did that, because there wasn't really anything defending over there. So, yeah.
Well, Stewart now neutralizing that top outpost.
Trying to fight the bomber. It's still really hard to do, though.
Alive, but he does lose one Longhorn.
One artillery actually firing in, unnoticed by the blue team. It is actually a blue team advantage right now, 52 to 62. And the blue team going to be moving into mid.
The blue team has no problem securing that. Though we do see some blue team heavy mines. Those are going to be right in the way as that cluster wanders back towards mid.
Frisky kept it on follow and did not hold position, so they are trying to come back to him, and he died, so now they're trying to go back to fort. So
that is truly unfortunate, as it looks like the control that the red team was able to exert isn't going to do a whole lot now, as they just pull back to their struggling middle outpost.
Which is more, heavily populated with blue units. The blue team actually has a pretty darn good foothold in this entire game. Red team takes the middle outpost back under control.
Blue has been shaken off. They've lost some units, but they've also moved some units onto red team's top, where they're doing some slow work on neutralizing it, but it will happen eventually if there's not a quick response, which FriskyCow does aim to deliver.
ShadowUltima reinforced that bottom outpost with brutes, and Stewart has been able to get another neutralization on this top left outpost. Lots of deaths by Stewart, but he's actually getting a lot of work done.
And the upkeep differential is really starting to show, as Frisky and GOO GOO cannot build more units until they re-secure something.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. That's one big reason why Shadow and Stewart need to keep the pressure on, because they will not be able to reinforce unless they, unless they can retake an outpost.
However, they have taken that top outpost, and they've got a respectable cluster of units there that they could potentially push in with.
Stewart Shadow
does keep working on neutralizing those brutes,
and which will be not that hard for him to do, considering the Mantis strike. But Frisky forced to abandon this top right outpost fight. He needs to get some creeps to retake this post.
And if he abandons it for too long, he's going to lose most of his team's unit investment, as ShadowUltima is going in with that striker sword.
Blue team has control of mid right now. The random mines are still there, but nothing has actually gone over them for the blue team. Frisky's really low on health, but he will be okay. They have been able to take this outpost back under the control, but GOO goes down. ShadowUltima and Stewart with those missiles getting that finish.
And Frisky goes down as well. That is not a good look when you're trying to hold on to an outpost like that.
It is 31 to 53. The blue team has, I would say at this point, you could call it a commanding lead. This is the only outpost that they have to worry about left in the game, and both players have just respawned just now. So I think they might want to start refocusing on their side of the map and clearing, while the blue team does the same on their side, maybe for a reset.
GOO GOO is doing exactly that, though ShadowUltima is there to reinforce with brutes, and it is not going to go down despite GOO GOO pushing him with his own brutes. The striker sword is going to make short work of him, as FriskyCow makes short work of Stewart 98 over mid.
Stewart getting killed. Frisky opening a small window for the red team to try to take their left side outposts back under the control. At this point, they actually have 0 under the control, and they have too many mines out on the field to actually build units. It's crazy. If you look at the minimap, there's red dots everywhere, but they're not usable units.
And once again, that army that was isolated up in the top right, slowly getting worked down by Stewart, and it's all for naught.
FriskyCow trying to defend as much as he possibly can, but this outpost is pretty much gone. Shadow with the brute spam. GOO has very little that he can do about that, since the Manta Strike is generally best against multiple units, and you can only really damage one of the infantry at a time within an outpost, and domination will set in pretty soon unless the red team can do anything about that.
Does get that neutralized on the top. Hopefully they can retake it for their own sake, though at this point I wouldn't say anything's looking too good for them.
GOO able to avoid death by a very slim margin. Frisky taking that top left outpost back, but will they be able to hold it? Lots of brutes here in the area, and no melee going down by either mech.
That's right. You'd think that the bomber and striker would be able to make very quick work of a pack of brutes, but that just hasn't been happening this game.
Maybe brutes, probably at this point, just considering what we're seeing, need a health nerf of some kind or a cost increase. And The imminent danger has hit the red team once again as Goo goes down and Frisky barely makes it out of there alive. Stuart and ShadowUltima.
It is a much less tenuous hold.
Yes,
as they're really starting to reinforce, and brutes and creeps are just trickling into the base, keeping the pressure up and making it a little harder as FriskyCow almost dies there.
17 to 60, and you know, even with a disparaging upkeep difference before, I still thought that the red team had hope maybe 3 or 4 minutes ago, but at this point I don't have that same feeling.
Well, with Goliaths out on the field, there's not a whole lot they can do.
They probably have Goliaths on their loadout, but they definitely don't have the credits to support it. The economy difference is massive.
Or the upkeep for that matter.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. There are too many.
24 to 124.
There's too many mines out on the field. I probably would, you know, obviously with hindsight, say that they overinvested in mines. If you see all the red dots everywhere, that's just another unit that they could not make. Although at this point in the game, it's 18 to 24, or 18 out of 24. They do have a little bit of room to make units, but meh.
They don't have a lot of room for those units to live long, though, as there's multiple Goliaths now bearing down on their fort.
Mantis Strike keeping them alive for now, but it's probably not going to... Yeah, a couple of tanks and another Gorgon heading down from the bottom. Where are the rest of them?
All it takes is that pressure as domination damage keeps on ticking.
Yep, the red team is very, very close to death, and...
both dead.
Both death right now, actually. And
that
Stuart and Shadow
power on their fortress just not holding up.
Cleaning up the rest of the red units, 11 to 20, 9 out of 24 right now, and I'm guessing most of that 9 is out on the field in mines, but there you go. The Rusty Council actually pulls it out over, I think, the higher seeded, the Resistance team, so ShadowUltima and Stuart98 actually moving on to the semifinals. Great job. That was a great back and forth game. Yeah, a bit of an upset.
Again, the Council showing that maybe they aren't as rusty as we thought.
Anyway, so
no, they're still rusty.
They're still pretty rusty. Yeah, they can at their peak.
That, Frisky and GOO GOO, not much better off in that respect.
Right, they're probably pretty rusty as well. All right, guys. So that is the end of the round of 8. Semifinals coming up. High level AirMech coming to you soon.
And we.